So this is another example of a tree that you can prune during the winter. This is a coral bark Japanese maple. When you prune these, you want to look at the overall shape. You want to kind of have a natural but a snow cone kind of appearance, and that your first question is, okay, what branches do I prune out? So for an example, there are some crossing branches that are in here that we can remove. This is a crossing branch right here. A crossing branch is something that's starting to cross over or is crossing and touching another branch, as you can see this one here. So I'm going to just prune this out here, and if you see that I prune to the collar. A collar is the surrounding tissue that will actually heal the wound, seal the wound. And then after that, you want to look for any appropriate cuts that's been made in the past, like this one right here. So this branch is not needed, all right? So the reason why it's not needed is just taking up space of this branch. So I'm going to take this out, and see, you won't even miss it. So now this is going to be the dominating branch. Then you got some other nubs right here. Unfortunately, you can't take this whole branch out, because if you do, it's going to leave a hole. So you can prune to a lateral like this. But the downside about pruning like this on a coral bark Japanese maple is that they will, during the summer, produce long spikes. And that is the downside about these trees. So going on, continue looking at crossing branches. You can see how this branch is actually growing, and it's going to grow right through here. So we don't want this, so we want to redirect this branch, and that's the great thing about pruning. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to follow this to a lateral that's going to be growing in this direction. So here's one, but the problem is it's still growing here. So I'm going to go a little bit further down, and if you can see, this lateral is growing straight out here, so I'm going to go ahead and just prune it down. So now all of this energy is going to come up through here, come up to the dominating lateral, and start pushing it this way. Even this branch will come out, and that's what you call redirecting new growth, planning for the future. And then always look for dead branches as well. So here's an example of some dead branches in the Japanese maple that you should always remove. Never just break these off, because if you do, you're going to create a cavity right here. Always just try to prune them out, so that way these little collars will grow around them. And then when you see a nub like this, you want to go ahead and prune it out, because if you see this little collar right here, the tissue, it can't do anything. This is going to decay, and it's going to rot all the way down. It's going to continue inside the cambium here. So if you just go ahead and prune it off here as close as you can without damaging that tissue, then this tissue can start growing over and seal this, and you won't have to worry about it decaying inside the trunk. And then just work your way up, taking out any crossing and dead branches. So this is an example of where a long sucker growth had grown way out into the pool area, and the homeowner just cut it at a random spot. And you can see where it died. On a coral bark Japanese maple, if you notice, there's buds here, and then there's buds right here, or node. So if you prune it anywhere in between this, it's going to die. For an example, you can see right here where it was pruned right below the bud, and now it's starting to decay. And if you look on any one of these, it has started to die, because it was pruned in the wrong spot. So with this one here, we can go ahead and take this all the way down, And always know how to angle your pruners. What's so important about that is that do you want everybody to see the wound, or also how to get in here without breaking anything else. And it's okay to kind of take some of these little sucker growth off, so that way you can prune it. And now you've removed this part that's not necessary, and this branch will continue on. If you wanted to, you can be even more creative. Always think about where we pruned earlier, the direction this branch is going to go in. So that since this is the edge of the pool, this is going to go out into the pool deck. So since we have this here that's going to produce leaves, imagine where every bud is. Every bud is going to have a leaf. All right, so it's going to fill in. So you can actually go ahead and take this out. This will fill in and this will go up, and this branch will go straight up, and you don't have anything that's going to grow out into the pool deck. This one here, it's going to grow here, and it's going to grow right into the arborvitae. So it's okay to take this one all the way out. Just know that you have a V shape on this tree that you want to keep in mind. And when you're pruning any other plant, always know what the shape of that plant is supposed to be like. Also know how low you can take it and how thin you can make it.